Well, good morning, Rotary District 7770, and welcome to Conversations with Rotary Action People for Monday, October 11th. Happy Columbus Day, everyone. My name is Donald Hovis, your CWRAP host, and I'm from the Chicora Rotary Club in Myrtle Beach. We're pleased to be joined all the way from Lenoir, South Carolina, from Patrick Longano. He's going to be talking to us about impact clubs. Looking forward to your presentation, Patrick. Let's do some announcements first. Shout out to our wonderful CWRAP co-host, the lovely Mary Gask from the 5 Points Rotary Club in Columbia. Mary sets up all of our speakers. So Patrick, when you're looking through that long list of speakers, Mary's the real one to thank for that. So Mary, thank you for all you do. Also, for those of you on here today, we're going to use your raise your hand if you have a question at the end. Do not post any questions today in the chat box. We will let you come off mute and ask questions to Patrick. I know there may be several questions coming your way, Patrick. Several of them hard, maybe some of them easy, but we appreciate you being here. Also, we'll have some announcements to close out today, but please note, this presentation was also presented to the membership summit of our district several months ago, which is where I heard Patrick, and I said, Mary, we have to get Patrick on CWRAP. So, Patrick, we're glad you're here, and I would like for you to first start by telling everybody a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in Rotary, and then you can go right into your presentation, sir.
Fantastic. First of all, my name is Patrick Longano. I'm from Lenoir, North Carolina. I am the chair of the Impact by Rotary Club of Lenoir. We've been a Rotarian twice. I was a Rotarian from 2001 to 2003, and then I got back into Rotary in 2017. One of the catalysts for doing Impact was just that spread. When I got back into Rotary in 2017, I saw all the same things that were going on back in 2001, all the same things that plague most of our clubs, whether they're good clubs, bad clubs, big clubs, small clubs. They all the same things do, your public image, your membership. So seeing those things, I started looking for some signs around, and it propelled me forward to do what I'm going to explain here in a minute. But I am married. My wife of 25 years. She's a kindergarten teacher, so anybody who's seen me speak or knows me, like Mike, understand that that's the reason why she's been married to me for 25 years, is because she's a kindergarten teacher. And I have a son who's a second-year law student at UNC Chapel Hill, and he's a cheerleader there, so we spend a lot of Saturdays either going to see him, or my wife spends with the phone camera trying to get pictures of him as he flashes by on the screen. We're very, very proud of him, and we love living here in our tiny little town. What a lot of people, has anybody here heard me talk about Impact before? Fantastic. Okay, so we've got 3. So I just want to kind of tell you what Impact was and how it came about. But first, I got to tell you what it is. Impact is officially, by Rotary's terms, a satellite club. Okay, and I'll tell you right up front, I don't like the term satellite club. I think satellite has a lot of negative connotations. It makes people assume that the satellite or this club is, oh, those people over there. So we call what we do a companion club. And what a companion club is a club that will form and always stay with the home club. I'll give you a reason right now. I was at our district membership or a district conference back in August, and they had a gentleman Zoom in and start talking about membership. And one of the things that he decided to do is he played a video, and I'm sure you guys have all seen it, Anytown, USA. And one of the first things that's said in this video is it says, the way to grow Rotary is to add more Rotary clubs. And my wife sitting next to me grabbed my arm and said, don't say anything. I said, okay. And then after that video was over, the gentleman kept talking. And one of the things that he said was there was going to be a pilot program. He was so excited that's coming up in Houston this year at the International Convention, that they're going to pilot a program where people can join Rotary International individually and not through any clubs. I kid you not. And that's when she grabbed my arm again and said, don't say anything. So the next night I sat there and I talked with the entire district and I said, how many people here believe that that is a good idea? How many people here believe that that is the way to grow our clubs? What a companion club is and what Impact is a way to build our existing clubs. We spend too much time and too much money trying to build satellite clubs and introduce new clubs to our district and all those other things, where we should be spending our resources right now building up our existing clubs. My existing club right now has 92 years in existence. And they started in 2010, they had 126 members. 3 years ago, they had 76. At the beginning of this year, this Rotary year, they had 37 active and 9 active R85s. And I wish I could say that that is not the norm, but it is. 3 years ago, Rotary International in not North America, but the United States had 348,000 and change people, Rotarians in the United States. This year, it's under 300,000. And as the years go forward, if we don't do something about it, it's just going to grow larger and larger and larger. So all these things, Rotary International comes down and gives you these great ideas. People give you great ideas, and then they turn around and walk away. And everybody's like, oh, this is a great idea. How do we do it? What we did is we formed this companion club that is service-based. Since we have a small crowd, I'm going to ask you to show of hands. Does anybody in this group know of somebody who is a true Rotarian, but is not in a Rotary club? Anybody know anybody? Yeah. And one of the reasons why they're probably not in a Rotary club is they don't fit the mold that conforms with your club at this point. And Mary and I were speaking yesterday. Her club meets on Fridays at 1, and my club, traditional club, meets on Fridays at 12. So I always tell this little story, and I use my wife, the kindergarten teacher, as a little bit of an example. She at 7:30 in the morning, I was speaking at a club. It was 7:30 in the morning. I told Mary, the only thing I told them was, you don't have to have a meeting this early. I mean, there's no time police. You can move this anywhere you want. So, but at 7:30 in the morning, where's a teacher at? A teacher is at school, wrangling the kids, getting them in there for their instructional day. And during my time at my traditional club and Mary's time, Fridays at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, where's that teacher? That teacher is at school. They're probably scarfing down lunch as they're grading papers or help tutoring something. But my wife leaves school once, twice, 3 times a week after staying an extra hour that she doesn't get paid for and all those other wonderful things that teachers do. And she goes and donates her time helping kids with tutoring or going down to hospice or any of the other wonderful things. So what I ask everybody in that situation is this, and I can't answer this for you. This is a question that you have to answer for yourself. Is that teacher's time and the service to her community or their community worth any less than the service that you perform for your community? And most every single person is going to go, absolutely not. So by definition, right then and there, you have Rotarians, and you just have to figure out how to let them serve your club and your community using your banner. The only way to do that is to open up different pathways or different avenues for service to make your tent bigger and allow these people to serve your club just in a different way. Now, some of the things that come up with this is, well, I like the meetings. And, I heard one club tell me, well, not everybody can be a Rotarian. And that was the last time I talked to that club at that point, because I believe that if you have a heart for service and you have integrity, that you can be a Rotarian. It's just on us to figure out how you can do that. So I saw that our club was not inclusive. We needed to make our tent bigger. So we created this companion club, and it's a service-based club. We meet at our service projects. We put on, and how many people know Tiffany Irving? Tiffany was our district governor, and we made sure that we chartered the last week of her year, just to make sure that we had our 8 founders in her year. She was very supportive of us, and really basically closed our club on it. But in the first calendar year, we put on 75 people into our Rotary Club. So we have a force of volunteers and service-minded people that are out there in our club or out there in our community doing service work. And if you're looking at the square with me on it, it says impact by the Rotary Club of Lenoir. Anytime you see anything from me at all, it's not impact. It's impact by the Rotary Club of Lenoir, because I want to make sure that we tie back to our traditional club. So always. And the thing that I'm most proud of in that year is not the membership growth or the fact that we formed this new style club that's kind of catching fire, is the public image. Up here, the public image was, it's just a bunch of old dudes going to a meeting, and they're meeting and eating, and that's it, and that's all, and they write checks sometimes, and that's what they thought. But now I'm not even recruiting. I've got 13 people ready to go in, and they're contacting us on it now, because now we're out there doing the work. How many people have a shirt that has Rotarian in action, or one of those shirts? And that's great. They're great shirts, and I'm not making fun of them in any way, shape, or form, but we got these shirts, and then we did 2 service projects as a group. So you never really saw it. The marketing wasn't there, because you were only out in the community those 2, maybe 3 times. We are at everything. Every time, I told the club this, I said, every time somebody looks up, I want to see the impact by Rotary Club of Lenoir shirts. I want them to see you working. And that's what's really changed the perception. Oh, now you guys, these are the people that are at every event. Last weekend, we opened the Mitford Museum over at the Hub Station in Hudson, North Carolina, for Jan Karen, the best-selling author. And it was our largest project. We staffed a 51-person volunteer opportunity. We did, and all in the Rotary Club of Lenoir's name. We do a lot of micro projects to help out our partners in nonprofit. So the public image, I told you at the beginning that they're the same problems that a lot of clubs have, and they are membership and public image are 2 of the biggest ones. So this solves a lot of those issues. So I've been talking about it for a long time. We did it. We grew. The guy right there in the center of my screen, Mike Burney, was the first standalone club that added it. We did do a Blowing Rock club that had an existing satellite, and they wanted to rebrand as a companion club. They grew their club by 50% in 3 months. Mike Burney, through his absolute great leadership down there at the Spring Valley Club, chartered the other day, September 16th, as a matter of fact, with 12 founding members. I'm very proud of those 12 founding members that they got and brought into the Rotary family. 9 of the charter members were female, and there were 6 people of color. And I just think that this service-oriented companion club model will bring in the diversity, because everybody believes in service to one's community. So service is what unites us. Service is what brings us together. So you don't have to go out and say, hey, I need more of this, or I need more of this, or I'd like to have more young people, or I'd like to have this. When you pitch service, and we are the premier service organization in the entire world, why in the world would we not use that as a selling tool? So basically, that's what Impact is. We've got a club coming online in West Virginia. We've got a club coming online in Virginia and 2 in Charlotte and 1 in Greensboro. So it is, it's spreading, and it's a good model that's replicable in basically any area, urban or rural. And the great part about it is that we're not going to tell you it's a great idea. We're going to help you get from step 1 to step 3, till you get your founders inaugurated, to do all these other things. And they've just set up a zone committee, a zone council on impact to help get some standard guidelines, so we can go ahead and spread this thing even further. And one of your people in your district, 2 of your people in your district have been appointed to that zone council, Mike Burney and Sandy Olson. How many people know Sandy? I always blush when I talk about Sandy, because she's like one of my favorite Rotarians ever. So, but she's wonderful, and she's going to be on her zone council for that. But that's what impact is in a nutshell. What I do most of all is I like to engage in conversations with Rotarians who are interested in membership and different things that can help move Rotary forward. So I'd like to see if anybody's got any questions right now before I continue.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. If you do have a question, raise your hand and come off of mute. It looks like Mary Gask up first.
Patrick, I'm going to ask some of the questions I asked yesterday, because
Conversation.
I know. And as I told you yesterday, I like the concept of this, but I'm not sure that I'm sold on the concept of this. So I do have questions. Go over with the people on the call the dues structure, how that works.
Sure. I will tell you a couple things about the due structure. First and foremost, anytime you do any kind of companion club, satellite club, whatever you do, it always comes down to money, no matter what. Every club that I've ever talked to, I've got a club that's in our district that's arguing over $2.89. We showed them we added 75 people. Their city is larger than us, and they're arguing about $2.89. That's their prerogative. It's their club. That's how they want to do it. But I'll tell you what we do here, but this is going to be up for structure in the zone council. So, and the reason why we formed the zone council, and Mike will tell you, is I was kind of like I told you yesterday, I was the first guy through the door. So I've kind of gotten shot at a lot. So I would like it not to be that this is what Patrick said it had to be. I'd like it for it to be a consensus. And I'm smart enough to know that what we have now is not what it's going to be. So we just need to continue to develop it. But anyway, what I did was I charge our district dues are $45, and Rotary International dues totaled, both of those totaled $131 and change last year, right at $131. It has since gone up. They dropped $1 on one and went up $2 on the insurance. So it's right at $134 now. So I offer 2 different types of membership and impact, and I present it to everybody that gets in. I offer them $15 a month or $25 a month. And the $25 a month would be $10 a month going to the foundation right up front. And I have had several people opt for that, and that's wonderful. But if they don't choose the foundation option, then I don't berate them. Money should not be a barrier to membership in Rotary. The foundation, I was telling you yesterday, Mary, that the foundation's goal last year was $65-ish million. And last year they raised $87 million for the foundation. So I always say, the foundation's great. I love it. I donate, but we don't have a foundation problem. We have a membership problem. So we need to solve that. So I don't want money to become a barrier for somebody to serve Rotary. If they can afford the dues and they want to be in and they want to serve, that's great. So what happens with the people that don't choose to donate to the foundation is my foundation chair came to me and said, what, they're not going to? And I said, no. I mean, you know how I found out that I was donating to the foundation? He said, how? And I said, when they sent me the bill. You know, I mean, there's too many places that, when did donating to the foundation go from a choice to mandatory? I mean, I'll tell you when they put it in the pink pages for for the governors. Hi, Paul. How you doing? You know what I mean? I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. So I soft sell. I want you in. And it's on my foundation chair and the entire Rotary Club to turn these people into great Rotarians and educate them on the foundation. And then send them information in the 4th month, talk to them in the 5th month, and then in the 6th month, ask them to become members or donators to the foundation. If they can afford it and we've done our job, then they'll donate. If they can't afford it, I don't want them taking food off their table, you know what I mean, to donate to the foundation. So what I always like to say, they go, well, your percentages are going to be off. I said, these people will never be a Rotarian ever. These people would never have been Rotarians at all. So if I bring you 100 people and you close at 50%, that's 50 people that would have never donated to the foundation that now are. So, you know, it's found money if you can get them to do that. I'm not anti-foundation. I strongly support it, but I do not want membership to become a barrier or money to become a barrier to membership. And that's what they're arguing about, the $2.89.
Okay, but,
Yep.
and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong on this. If a club is not 100% supportive of the foundation, doesn't that affect the grant money that the club gets back for doing service projects?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's something that we're going to change. There's a big movement behind this. There is a huge movement. I saw Leah nodding her head when we were talking about money. How many people here found out that they were foundation donors when they got the bill? I mean, there are a lot of people.
I can tell you this, Patrick, when I was president of my club, somebody wanted to make sure that everybody was billed. And
Yeah.
Paul Allen was a past district governor. He is now deceased. He called me and he said, it is voluntarily only. You cannot bill somebody.
I know.
You cannot. Don't ever do that.
But it does, and it happens. And it's happening more than you could ever imagine. So this is not just building membership. This has got to be the way that we're changing the way that we're treating people as we recruit them. Why in the world would I want to keep somebody out because they can afford the dues, but they can't afford to donate to the foundation at this time? They might be able. I've got a young lady that's 21 years old that hasn't left the house in a year and a half. Okay. And she is amazing. She handles all of our social media, all of these wonderful things that she does. But she can't afford to donate to the foundation, but she has given, my goodness, I think it was 200 and some odd hours last year in service to our club. Should I not let her in because of every Rotarian every year, or we have to be 100% Paul Harris Fellows, and we have to, I mean, clubs are getting creative. Hey, we're going to front you the money so we can get that designation of 100% Paul Harris, and then we're going to collect from you. I mean, these are things and tactics that I would never think that a Rotary club would ever do. I mean, it's just, it's absurd. So, I mean, that's my opinion, guys, and it's a strong opinion, and I apologize, but, you know, like I said, I'm a foundation person, but it should not be a barrier to joining your Rotary club.
Okay, Patrick, I'm going to be the devil's advocate this whole call. You know that, okay?
I love it.
Because of the conversation we had yesterday. So you have people that are coming in. Can they hold office? Because it sounds to me like until they really understand what Rotary is all about, can they hold an office if they're a member of an impact club by the Rotary Club of so-and-so?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question that has come up. And that's one of the things that I sort of made a decision on, but then I went, you know what, as these other clubs come online, we're going to need to sit down with the council and make those designations, because the impact is designed as a club that will not break away from the traditional club. Why wouldn't you use that talent, is in my opinion. Now, this is not official or anything like this, but why wouldn't you? I'll tell you a quick story. Bill Sullivan has been our polio chair for years. I mean, does a great job with it. works for Wells Fargo and got shipped from Lenoir down to Hickory. So he can't leave Hickory and come up for the Friday meetings. So he turned in his resignation. They called me from the club and they're like, can you call him? I'm like, hold on. I was like, Bill, what are you doing? He's like, well, I can't come to the Friday meetings. I was like, you still live here, right? You're not planning on moving to Hickory, right? He said, no. I said, well, why don't we just transfer you over to Impact? You can do the projects that you want to do. You can do this. And he goes, can I stay polio chair? And I'm like, well, let me think, since we'll have a long line of people that are volunteering to become polio chair. Yeah, I think that would be okay. So Bill it continues on as our polio chair. That's one of the great parts about this. Now, imagine, if you will, you can build up your club by doing a companion club and allowing people who couldn't serve you before to serve now, but also you can slow down attrition on this side. Attrition in our district is about 14%. What happens if people that were being forced to leave because of jobs or family problems, and we could give them that other option before them leaving, and we can slow that attrition rate down to 4 or 5% plus have the growth. This is a double-edged sword that will continue to bear fruit years down the road on that. But yeah, I would, in this council, I would defer to what they would suggest. But why wouldn't you, in my opinion, be allowed to recruit out of that? Because Impact is only required, or companion club is only required to have 2 positions, a chair and a secretary. That's it. They're allowed their full board if they want to. They can have their own treasurer, the whole 9 yards. But if you're serving your home club, why not serve your home club? So that's my opinion, but that will be addressed with the Impact Council.
Any additional questions? I think we got time for maybe about 5 more minutes worth of questions here. Anybody else?
Hey, Donald, can I chime in?
Absolutely, Digit.
Hey, Patrick, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, Digit, I like your hat, pal.
Yeah, go Red Sox. So we've talked a lot. I've heard most of the discussion today is hinging on the fact of whether or not somebody can pay foundation dues or be interested in being a foundation contributor. I would like to change course a little bit and just talk about the opportunities that this Impact Club can provide for people to join Rotary and be a part of Rotary. And it's not necessarily that person that may or may not be able to afford foundation dues. It's that person who can't leave their desk during the day to go because they're young in banking or whatever that may be. You mentioned teachers a while ago, or healthcare workers. This opportunity is exactly what Rotary needs to be a boost, because we have this untouched opportunity of people who can't make a lunch or can't make a breakfast because they're going to drop their kids off at school. These people want to give. So I would say, don't worry about the foundation. Patrick, I believe, you sound a little bit like standoffish, but I don't think that's where his heart is.
No, it's not.
He really is trying to grow Rotary, and we worry about the foundation dues later. Let them get in, help them serve, help them understand what being a Rotarian is all about. And at the end of the day, they will want to make sure that they can give to the foundation.
Yeah, Digit, I appreciate you saying that, because, and I apologize, I'm a little bit more forceful on this point, because I've seen lots of areas and lots of clubs that they come and they're like, please help us. We've lost 40% in the last 3 years and we just need to build membership and help. And then you get into it and you're like, man, you do all the studies. I mean, I'm looking at one club that's at 24% female participation, and their county is 53% female. And you're like, okay, well, there's exactly what we, there's things that we need to look at in your recruiting and how we do this. But all of a sudden it comes down to, oh gosh, we're going to lose our designation as 100% Paul Harris. Yeah, no, we're not, we're okay. And so you can't see the forest through the trees when you do that. I want to introduce you to somebody. Mike and Digit have met. You mind? I'm going to introduce you to Karen. She is the brains behind the operation. Karen is absolutely wonderful. Okay. If you get an email from me that's spelled correctly or uses correct punctuation, it came from her, I promise you, okay? Thanks, Karen, I appreciate it. But I wanted to tell everybody a little bit about Karen. Karen is probably one of the most talented people that I've ever met in my life. Brilliant. She's left now, so I can tell you all the good stuff. She's brilliant. She thinks things through. She is that dot the I, cross the T kind of person. I met her when she was working at the school system, at a power school entry level job, and you can imagine what that pays. And I got her over here at the car dealership, and she helped me put this thing together. Karen is the exact reason for impact. Okay, this young lady right here would have never thought to go to a Rotary meeting, nor would she ever have been asked. And what an absolute shame that this lady, her first year in Rotary, she didn't even join Impact when we started. It took 6 months to convince her. Okay, so I guarantee you, in her first year of Rotary, she's done more than most clubs have in that same year. And it would have been an absolute shame if we didn't give her an opportunity to serve Rotary. That's what this is all about, is giving people the opportunity to be a Rotarian that wouldn't normally been one. Thank you, Digit.
Patrick, what's the attrition rate for people that become a part of the Impact Club? Do they stay, or has it been around long enough to even know if this is going to work for long term?
Well, here's the great part about it, it's the only model that I've seen, and I love the Boy Scout model. I love some of the other ICAs, but this is the only model that I've seen that can outpace attrition. Okay, so you are going to lose some people. I mean that's just what it is. But after a year and a half of doing this, we've lost 2 people, and one moved up to Asheville, which is over an hour away, and wanted to go ahead and join a club there. So that's great. We moved him to a traditional club, so we obviously treated him right. And then another moved out of state. But I just got news yesterday that one of our on Friday, that one of our Impact members wanted to transition over to the Friday club. So that is awesome news. One more question for everybody. Does anybody here know somebody that was dragged kicking and screaming into Rotary? Oh God, fine, I'll do it. And then 2 years later, they're wearing the cape and the hat and the pins, and they're like super Rotarian. That's the same thing that's going to happen here. We encourage every single Impact member to go to the traditional meeting. You don't have to. You have teenage kids. Anybody who's got teenage kids or had them, when you tell them not to do something, they'll do it. When you tell them to do something, they won't do it. So when we go, you're not expected to go to any meetings. You don't have to go to any of that. 2 weeks ago, we've done actually 3 of the 4 programs for the traditional club in the past 4 weeks. But 3 weeks ago, we made up over 30% of the attendance at our traditional club. And during Zoom, during the pandemic, during Zoom, we made up 42% of the Zoom attendance. We told them they didn't have to go. Now, what happens in your traditional club is they get excited now because they see it, and they're like, "Whoa, this is awesome!" And then they start trying to put the pressure on them. And I say, no, just don't pressure people. Don't do that. Soft sell it. Please attend if you want to. If you see a great program, they're going to come. And if they're treated nice and they're given information, they're going to come. Mike, you had a traditional club project that came up, and how many people in Impact came over and did that?
You're talking about Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday we did a hunger project, and I think of our 12 new Impact members, we had about 6 who showed up. So we were about half traditional club members and half Impact at that event.
So it's going to take a little bit of time, and Michael knows this deal, for people to do it, but it will energize your traditional club as well. Our traditional club did 580 some odd hours the year before the pandemic. We chartered this club, impacted over 2,000 service hours last year. And our traditional club that did 580 something the year before did 1,200. because people want to be excited again. They want to see it rise. They don't want to see a sinking ship. So it reinvigorates people.
Thank you, Patrick. We're going to end with Digit one more time.
Thank you, Donald. Just want to add that our district and District Governor Paul has set aside money for event applications that would go along with having that discussion of an impact club. So reach out to me, digitrm@gmail, give me a call on my cell, 843-737-2549. Let's get you some funds to help you have that discussion. We're here to help you. And thanks again, Patrick. Great to see you.
Real quickly, Leon, we'll finish with you, sir. Leon, you're
Okay.
gonna be-
We have someone in the house. So where can I get more information about impact? Do I contact you or contact Mary?
You contact Digit. And Digit will
Sorry,
get
say Bring up.
Digit, place your contact information in the chat.
And Leon, I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Okay, thanks.
And Leon,
Sounds
if you have any questions about that too, I'm sure, about any other additional questions, you can, Digit, after you talk with Digit, you can call me, I'm sure Mike Burney, who's right down there by you, will answer any questions that you need as well.
Okay, thanks. I'm really glad what you said about money not being an impediment to membership. I was kind of concerned about that. I'm new myself, but I know some people and I wanted them to join, but I'm not sure whether they can really afford, everything or not. So that's good to hear. So I'll discuss that with my local chapter.
Thank you, sir. And the great part about it is Rotarians are giving people, if you find somebody that wants to join and they don't have the money, I'm telling you, somebody in your Rotary Club will sponsor an impact member. I had 9 people to sponsor impact members my first year.
Wow. Okay. Thanks.
So please mute your lines, folks. We got a lot of background noise going on here. All the contact information for Digit is in the chat box. Leon, Lee, please look at the chat box for contact information for Digit. At this time, Governor Paul Walter, talk to us about the conference, sir. Patrick,
Yes,
hang on the line.
Yes, on March 11th through the 13th, we're having the All Club Conference in sunny Hilton Head, and it is sunny today, so I can attest to that. We will be having many speakers, lots of fun. I want you to know that you're on Hilton Head, and you'll have some opportunity to have some free time on Saturday afternoon that'll get to give you to see the sights and sounds of Hilton Head, not just be in the hotel where we come in on a Friday and we leave on a Sunday and you don't know where you are. So looking forward to hosting y'all here in Hilton Head at the Sonesta Resort, March 11th through the 13th. At this time, it is in person. If we need to change, we will change as we need to, but we are still planning the in-person conference. And also, I do have to say, as my role as district governor in our district, I do ask that $25 would go to the foundation on the annual fund, which is $2.08. And if that may be the amount that you're referring to, but that would be for you to be E-Ray, which then allows you to get the district grants that we are happy to give to clubs.
Paul, you can do that though. I just wanted the math. You said you were at about $1.27. If you collect 180, which is $15 a month,
Plenty of money.
You can certainly do that and still have, T-shirts and your certificate money and all that other stuff. So you can certainly do that. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about in the council.
Yeah. $12.71 would cover everything that you need. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Paul. Now, can you book online for your hotel or do you have to call?
Yes, to both. You can go online and you can call. If you go to DACDB, there is a code that will allow you to do that. And I would go ahead and ask you if you want to book now. That is St. Patrick's Day weekend. So we expect, a lot of folks here in Hilton Head, we have a parade and whatnot during that time. So I would say, go ahead and book your room if you can early so that they don't run out.
And registration is not yet open for the conference,
You
correct?
are correct. We are waiting on the hotel with a few other items that we need to have addressed. And as soon as that is open and available, we hope to have that up in, a few weeks, but we're at the mercy of the hotel at this point, waiting on some items to be clarified.
Thank you. Last announcement, Mary Gask, golf tournament.
Yeah, we're going to do it again. It's our second annual Rotary International Golf Invitational. Plans are being made right now. We've got a flyer that we're going to be putting up. We have our website up and running. We're looking for corporate sponsors, all kinds of sponsors. Last year we did better than we thought. We ended up giving a little over $8,000 to polio and to CART, and Paul and Pauline separated that money out among the clubs for polio. To any club that had participated in the tournament in any way, it helped to reach their polio goals, which was a good thing. Yay, thank you so much. But yeah, we're going to do it again. It's June 17th, 2022, same golf course, Wichita. They gave us the best rate. It's going to be hot as Hades, but we'll figure it out and it'll be fun. So we're going to be making presentations to the different clubs in the very near future. Would like your support, need volunteers. Mark your calendars, June 17th. Thanks, Donald.
Thank you, Mary. All right, upcoming speakers for the CWRAP program. We have 2 more speakers in October. Next Monday, if your club does a firefighter of the year, police officer of the year, anything first responder of the year, you're going to hear from a gentleman named Joe Witowski, who has created a Heroes Award program with some really cool medals that you can present. In fact, in just a few minutes, when I say it's a wrap, it really will be a wrap because I'm going to the Myrtle Beach Rotary Club's Police Officer of the Year event. So, and they are giving one of these medals away. So there we go. And then 2 weeks from today, I've been talking about it all month. All you have to do is go to Google and type in Halloween trivia, because that's exactly what I'm going to do on October 25th when it's time for Halloween trivia, 2 weeks from today. So that'll wrap up the month of October. But CWRAP will continue in the future. I'm just not sure who's speaking as of yet. So if you have a speaker suggestion, please get it over to Mary Gask and we will get them scheduled. Okay, we will end today with the Rotary 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship?
Better friendship.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Have a great week, folks. Thanks again, Patrick.
Thank you,
Digit,
Patrick.
everybody that chimed in today. Great program. We'll see you next Monday on the next conversation with Rotary Action People. Take care, folks. That's a wrap. Bye-bye.